Hi everybody, I'm Lex and welcome back to my channel. I know that a lot of my December updates, my November updates went up really late, and so my December updates are a little bit backed up, but January is a very busy month. I have all of my finales, my updates, my intros, everything's going on, so there'll be a lot of videos coming out in January, but let's start it off by wrapping up my biggest project of this past year, my D100 project pan. This is a project that I made myself where I basically roll in one or two of every product category and randomize a number of uses between 1 and 100 by rolling a 100-sided dice. It was a really good project and I got some really good use on some things. I kind of just want to streamline my projects for next year, so I've decided to kind of take this to a close and wrap it up here at the end of the year so that I can focus on some slightly different goals next year. I found that with this project it brought so many items in that I just I had too much variety. Let's get into some numbers and see how my progress went this month though. For the past few months I've been using my ordinary concealer, and the packaging broke, so I had repotted it into this little container, and there is still so much left because I don't use a lot of concealer, and especially this one, it wasn't really a concealer that I could use a lot of because it looked really obvious on my skin. So I got another 15 uses on it this past month, mainly just as an eyeshadow primer, and that brings us up to 108 tracked uses. This will probably be continuing on into the new year because I really want to get it used up. This isn't the best packaging for it and I don't want it to like oxidize or get weird or anything like that. I had been using this Next powder and it's supposedly translucent, but it left a really bad white cast on my face. So I instead frankened some of it, or I say frankened, I repressed some of it into smaller pans so that I could use it as a lid setting shade in a couple of my Z palettes. And I also used this Main Big Compact as a lid setting shade. I gave it another 11 uses this past month for a total of 27 out of 50 uses, which isn't bad at all. I think I was really confident about that 50 use goal because as a face powder it would have been really easy to use 50 times, but because I just found out that I couldn't use it on my face, it made it a bit more difficult to use, especially since I use whatever lid setting shade is in a palette whenever I'm reaching for different eyeshadow palettes, and it was a good idea to repress it into my Z palette as a lid setting shade because that makes it a lot more usable for me. Next, for my cheek products, I had been using this blush that I had also repressed into my Z palette, and this is the more cool toned pink blush that I have in there. It's a nice enough colour, I'm just not a very cool toned gal. I had started making a little bit of a dip in this side here, but nothing major. This rolled in for 96 uses and I'm finishing up the year with 60 of those done. Even though I've used it 60 times, it really doesn't look like it at all. There's barely any progress other than that slight dip, which isn't even really visible. The other blush I was using in this project is this Revolution Peach Ombre blush, and it's nice. I was using it in this area here because if I go over to this side it's way too bright and this side is just like nothing. So I'm thinking I will keep using it along this very like ombre bit here until I hit pan, and then I'll just repress both sides together to make it like a nicer, more usable colour for me. This rolled in for 40 uses. I used it 4 more times this past month for a total of 10, and it honestly doesn't look like I've touched it at all. It was nice, and I really like my warm-toned peachy blushes a lot, so it's just a shame that it rolled in around winter time because in the winter it's a bit more difficult to use that with the cool toned icy blue looks that I've been doing for work and stuff like that. I had two little Avon samples in here. This one is called Wine with Everything, and I've used this a total of 14 times in this project so far, and this is what it's looking like. I didn't use it at all last month. I just really find it difficult reaching for lip products, to be honest. And the other sample was Country Rose, a slightly more pink-toned red. And I used this once for a total of one uses in this project. For a total of one use in this project, I guess. In my Benefit Party Like a Flock Star palette, I had the lip gloss shade Party to the Pink, which is just this pink one here. And it was alright. It's a nice enough lip gloss. It doesn't really have much colour payoff, but that's fine. I just didn't reach for it because it's difficult reaching for a whole palette just to do your lip gloss. So this got 35 out of 83 uses in the end, which isn't bad. I mean, that's a lot more than I thought I would reach for it, to be honest. And it's just a plain lip gloss, so I don't feel very strongly about it either way, you know. My black eyeliners also didn't get any use this last month. This one is the Sunkissed Just Wing It eyeliner, and this one is the Technic liquid liner, both in black. They kind of count as one product for me because I use them interchangeably. This one is easier to apply, but it smudges sometimes, and this one is a little bit more difficult to apply, but it has more lasting power. These rolled in for 23 uses. I haven't used them at all this past month, so they stay at a total of 14 uses. One bit of good news, though, is that I finished all of my uses on my Cruella highlight palette. I was working on this shade here, shade number 5, and this rolled in for 52 uses. As you can see, we made really good progress in this corner here, mainly because I was using it as an inner corner highlight as well as on my cheeks, and for that I use a small brush, which makes much more impact. It was a really pretty colour, really pretty cool toned highlight, and I really enjoyed using it. Also, it's given me a lot more hope for this palette, seeing how quickly it's going and how it's not so difficult to hit pan. So I will definitely look forward to working on more of these highlight shades in the new year, hopefully. I'll try and maybe roll them into some projects to get some use on them. So 52 out of 52 uses, that one is done. I had been working on this bronzer shade here, which is repressed from my Revolution Chaos bronzer, and it's a very warm toned bronzer. I didn't repress it the best, so it's very cracked. This is just my Franken palette, so it's a little ugly looking. This was the shade Chaos from Revolution mixed with the rest of my Hoola light bronzer, because that's too light for me and it wasn't showing up on my face at all, so that's what this is. I used it 14 times this past month, and it was nice. It's a bronzer. I don't really feel strongly about it. That's it. And then the last little few things were all my sprays. This is my La Rive Golden Dream Body Mist. I use this as a body glitter because it doesn't smell of anything. And I rolled this in for 40 uses originally. I used it 18 times, which used up this much here. And it was a nice body glitter. It's just difficult to use things like this in the winter time because I don't go out anyway, my arms are covered, you know. It is what it is. Also from La Rive, whatever you want to call it, the Only Desire Body and Hair Mist. This is one of my all-time favourite fragrances. It's the most stunning, like, sweet vanilla scent, like gourmand vanilla. This rolled in for 98 uses. I knew I wasn't going to get that realistically. I used it 17 times this past month, and it's still just so amazing. Oh, I love it so much. And also my strawberry perfume, which honestly had so much good progress this year. I used it 77 times in this project, and it was brand new when I rolled it in, so this is how much I've used of it. This is it on its side. Honestly, like a good third of it used. And it smelled really nice. The smell did change quite a bit from when I originally got it to now, but I honestly don't mind, and I still used it and it was still a very nice scent, so I'm not complaining. And the final thing is my false acacia hand cream. This rolled in for 44 uses. I've been using other hand creams though, so I used it 29 times in total, another 8 uses this month, which isn't bad. And honestly, this would be really easy to finish, but I have a couple other hand creams on the go first that take priority, so yeah, that is everything in this project, and I hope you will stick around and watch my new intro videos for the new year to see what will be replacing this project. Good to see you. Have a nice day. Bye.